This week on the SEO Weekly, tone and voice and tone. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing. Don't get me wrong, I got the voice of an angel, but you're not going to hear it. We have a FridAI special video all about using voice and tone in your generative AI, talk about voice and tone in your content and how it will matter for the experience, the EEAT, a couple of really great SGE webinars coming up this week that you should definitely check out, and a fun LinkedIn Live all about audience targeting beyond voice and tone. You see the theme? Yeah, that and so much more in the SEO Weekly. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of the SEO Weekly, where queries are weird, advice is controversial, and everything depends. I'm your host, Garrett Sussman of iPullRank, and every week I cover everything going on in the world of SEO. We're talking Google updates, blog posts, AI generative tools, webinars, podcasts, SEO, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, I'm on it. If you're into this stuff, please subscribe to the channel, give us a like, leave us a comment, and share on the socials. I genuinely appreciate it. But there's so much to cover. I'm going fast this week, so let's dive in. We've talked in the past about the IMP, the interaction to next paint, which is a core web vital that Google's added to replace the first input delay. And now it's coming to the Google Search Console. Remember, it's basically a sampling of every interaction with the website. You click an accordion, it opens up. How fast does that happen? Good user experience. Is it confusing? Is it not? Now you can measure that. Core Web Vitals. It's a great way to improve your user experience and ultimately will be that tiebreaker when it comes to rankings. Remember, it's not a major ranking factor, but all things equal, content-wise, IMP, Core Web Vitals can have that impact. So helpful. So no other major Google updates. There were a couple of videos and podcasts put out by the team. So John Mueller was doing double time. He did Ask Googlebot, where, the question of whether you need your site to be cached in order to be available in search, to which he said, no, that's not the case. And then there was a podcast all about indexation. Why is my site not indexed? Where John, Martin Splitt, and Gary Ilias talked all about different issues, like technical issues that you might not be indexed, how to check to see whether you're indexed or not by using Google Search Console and the inspection tool, and different reasons why you might not be indexed, or about text files, or just bad content, like you were crawled but not indexed. Great podcast. Check it out. That's pretty much it for Google at this point over the past week. I'm cool with that. In the world of AI generation and politics, which we do want to touch on, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said that there is a plan in place to address regulation of AI, which is relevant to all of our tech world, all of our SEO, all that jazz. What's interesting is he said, we're going to do years of work in a few months, and our priority is innovation, but with security, accountability, democratic foundations, and explainability. So innovation first, security second. I don't know. Didn't really talk about protecting rights. So I don't have a lot of faith, but early on, it's a lot of things are going to happen fast. And as I said before in the past, I don't know if, Congress and these kind of technophobes or folks who are very technologically savvy are going to be the best to make the decision, but they are. So we will see what happens. If anything major happens, I will address it, I promise. However, we did get a really good reminder in the world of generative AI and SEO from Google search analyst Gary Ilias. He pointed out on LinkedIn in a very useful post, PSA from my inbox. LLMs have a very high wow factor, but they have no clue about your website. Don't use them for diagnosing potential issues with it. Also remember that LLMs will hallucinate. Pressed in the right way, they will give you information that's completely detached from reality because the predictions on the word order make sense. Can they give you factually correct information in general? Yes. Can they give you information that has nothing to do with reality? Also, yes. Use LLMs at your own risk and be very picky about what you accept from their output. Otherwise, you'll be in for a very disappointing ride. So my take, I agree with Gary. You have to take it all with a grain of salt. You should, even if it has internet connection. If you're using a plugin with ChatGPT, or if you're using Bing, or if you're using Bard, still be skeptical of the output of these LLM chatbots when it comes to SEO diagnosing your website. I'll take this moment to remind you again that iPullRank and MarketMuse are working together for the State of Generative AI Survey Round 2. We want your input. Please take a moment to fill it out. We got a few more weeks that we're collecting your insights in terms of, are you using it at your company? How are you using it at your company? Would you hire a prompt engineer? And all sorts of really interesting questions. We're already getting great results. And the way, like, who's in charge of AI at your company? Fascinating. I can't wait for the report to come out. So please click the link in the YouTube description notes or on the page and fill that out. Genuinely appreciate it. I promise we'll get you first access to the report once it's completed. And last week, Mike King was back as the CMO of AIPRM for FridAI, talking all about AI, SEO, content creation, all that jazz. This week was all about voice and tone. How do you get consistent voice and tone into your generative AI and what to consider? Take it away, Michael.
So there's really two ways to do it. One, you can do it by defining a specific character or referencing a specific character that you want ChatGPT to act as though it is. And so when we talked about how to write a prompt, we talked about that whole mega prompt structure. One of the things is like, who's the persona that you want it to reference or act as when it's writing. And so for me, when I want to have something like a ChatGPT write as me, I use a character, which is this guy named Marty Khan from a television show called House of Lies. He's a very irreverent character, very smart guy, kind of a know-it-all, and always has these like very witty one-liners when he's speaking. And so being that ChatGPT has that context in its training, it knows to write as that person because I've specifically indicated them. The other way to do it is to define it through description. So by that same token, I just mentioned that Marty Khan is this brash, confident, self-assured character. I can describe that as part of my prompt and then tell it to write in that way. So these two approaches either can work. It's just that you don't have as much control when you define it through a character because that character may have aspects to them that you're not thinking about. And so defining it through description may be the better approach so you can get the more consistent result. And consistency is the whole point of brand voice and tone.
So there you have it. Key tips in terms of making sure that your brand's voice is reflected in the generative AI content that you produce. Speaking of AIPRM, obviously the relationship's going great. We still have that $5,000 contest for prompt generation. If you want to submit to the contest, all you need to do is submit your best prompt to the AIPRM library and then share it in the community forum. You can find the link in the description notes below. And if you want to know about how you can use AIPRM for small businesses and ChatGPT for that matter, I actually had the founder, Christoph on Rankable last week, and we had a really awesome discussion all about the specific use cases, the future of generative AI, the limitations. The dude's been in the software business for a minute. Actually, when it comes to small businesses using ChatGPT and AI, I'll let him leave you with this important nugget.
I would create a template prompt first, where I just say, we're this company named XYZ located in Alabama with these products, and the product category is ABC, and our most popular product that is the best seller is this, but we got a new generation, like a sales trainer, for example. And then you use that prompt to answer emails. You get some random email or from a prospect, and you can use that to answer that email better than a human would. And we're using that for link research tools, but also for AIPRM. We trained it on all the help articles, all the content that we already have. Of course, you can search for it in the forum. You can search for it in the help desk platform. But if there's a bot, this bot is answering the questions better than I would as a founder after 14 years in business. Because you get sort of blind, for things that you take for granted. And the machine just uses all that. It puts together answers where I'm surprised every single day when I look at that. And you have to say, this was not possible for big companies. in the past until shortly, and especially not small businesses. And this doesn't mean you replace a sales rep, but you can have the sales rep get this thing prepared, look at that, and get reminded. And when you read, which is actually a challenge, if you do this right, you get a lot of output. You need to read all that output, and then you have new ideas. Oh yeah, I should mention that when I call them. And this is something I don't see promoted. I don't see people talking about it.
So check out that full podcast. I'm super excited. I'm really happy with how it came out. I have a really interesting episode coming out tomorrow with Jack Chambers Ward, all about Google biases. That's going to be a really fun one. So Rankable, keeping it rolling. In the world of SEO Twitter, it's hard not to respect the hell out of an SEO that actually shows you under the hood in terms of some of their thinking publicly. Well, a really interesting situation happened last week in which Joe Youngblood pointed out on Tech SEO Reddit that GymShark, major website, had no index, some of their main category pages. Well, SEO manager Scott Salter chimes in and he's like, yo, Joe, here's what's happening. Let me explain. We are testing out a headless CMS, but we're not doing it across our entire site. We're trying out for some of our shop category pages to test the speed and the conversion rate. He answered a bunch of questions. It's really interesting. With any migrations, obviously, you can potentially run into issues here or there. There's some as Scott so pleasantly put it, some teething issues. That said, super transparent, really thoughtful responses, really interesting. Not even an experiment, but just process. Scott, kudos to you, man. Like, thanks for sharing. That is so cool. Check out Scott on Twitter for sure. So it's been literal years of a windup at this point, but GA4 is coming like in a week, less than a week. And if you are not set up well and you're ready for the auto migration, you want to double check. Mark Owls points out, just an FYI, no enhanced measurement events. 2 months of data retention instead of 14. Like that's the auto setting, not all of your data, 2 months. And weird event names based on UA event actions. Go in, double check the settings for this auto migration if that's the route that you're going at this point, and make sure you have it set up, because no matter what, people are going to be thrown off with GA4 migrations when UA sunset. Some people are still asking, will they delay? Will they delay? Krista Seiden, who we had on Rankable like last year talking about this when we knew this was all coming, was like, they are not going to delay this. It's happening. It is happening. So there you have it. There you have it. Don't say you weren't warned again and again and again and again. Got a beautiful infographic shared by Andy Chadwick of Keyword Insights on SEO Twitter. How to structure a blog post. Look at this thing of beauty. He breaks it down. He's got all your bases covered. Everything from tips on your title tag to your headlines, your opening text, internal links, outbound links, data and graphs, like do it, CTAs, conclusions, what you should do, what is that best process that Google is most likely. I mean, there's no definitive what Google's looking for, but this is pretty obvious and pretty helpful. Awesome infographic, Mr. Andy. And as pointed out in the comments, this isn't necessarily just like how to structure a blog post. This is like for most article content, because blog can be a range of different things, or articles, etc. You know what I mean. And finally, on SEO Twitter, local SEO Twitter, we've got none other than Darren Shaw of Whitespark, who's launching a really cool 30-day mini video series where he's taking all of the local search ranking factors. These are factors identified basically by local SEO experts, what they think impacts the rankings most, and explains what they are and how you can improve your local SEO rankings with them. So day one, he starts off with how to increase the volume of searches for your business name. In fact, let's go and get that. Rip it. Show us what you mean, Darren.
Hey, welcome to my new series. You and I are going to increase your rankings on Google with the top 30 local search ranking factors. We are kicking off day one, where I will teach you about factor number 30, volume of searches for business name. So what is this factor? This is a behavioral signal. The idea is that When more people are searching for your business name, that can have a positive impact on your rankings. So how do you optimize for it? Well, most people would say that there isn't really much you can do, but I actually have a few tricks up my sleeve and a few suggestions for how you can increase the number of people searching for your business name. So basically, anywhere you are linking to or sending people to your website, instead of directly sending them, just say Google it. So for example, in your social media posts, rather than dropping a link in the social post to your website, say Google brand name. If you have signs up in your business, rather than using like a short link to direct people to your website, say Google business name. And this one is sneaky. Instead of linking directly to your website in your email signature, instead link to the Google search results for your business name. That way, anytime someone clicks that link from your email to go to their website, it's like they're running a search for your brand name.
Even though the noise has died down a little bit when it comes to the search generative experience, it is still top of mind for SEOs. Everyone is out there kind of researching, preparing, trying to understand it. Brendan Bowers had this great article on Search Engine Land breaking down what you can do to show up in that snapshot carousel. You know, the AI snapshot has like 3 to 5 blog posts that'll show up based on the query. What he's identified, and he has a couple of good examples, is subject matter expertise. He's talking EEAT and the importance of having those subject matter experts in the expertise of the EEAT demonstrate their knowledge to surface up in the snapshot. And so he says, go hard. Basically, he's like, make sure that your podcasts and your webinars and all those blog posts from your internal subject matter experts is being created, that it's part of that content strategy. And also don't be afraid to reach out to external subject matter experts to contribute to your content. I think that's a great recommendation. But if you can't get enough of the search generative experience, 2 days, today and tomorrow. First off, there is a roundtable panel discussion being hosted by Bernard Wong over at Clearscope. Our own Michael King's going to be there, Elena Solis, Kevin Indig, Marie Haynes, and Gaetano Donardi. It is going to be such an interesting conversation of all these heavyweights and how they're thinking about what SGE means for the future of SEO. And then if you can't get enough of that and you want to touch a little bit more, join me, yours truly, over with Botify. We're talking Dimitri Gamarik and Elliot Haynes, and we're going to be talking all about SEO and SGE, how to prepare your strategy for Google's AI-powered search results. I'm super excited. We had a lot of great prep for it, and I can't wait to dive in and share my thoughts all about it. You can register for that tomorrow. Check out the Clearscope one today at 2 p.m. So get in on that, please. I'm sure there's a replay, but still get in, register, check me out tomorrow. It'll be fun. SGE, can't get enough. Okay, but if you don't want to wait for the Clearscope webinar and hear what Aleda thinks about SGE and AI already, well, you can actually dive into one of her recent decks in where she talks all about how to maximize your SEO efficiency with AI chatbots. Obviously, it's not apples to apples of what she's going to discuss, but oh my God, is it comprehensive. She goes through all different use cases, all the limitations, all the perspectives you need to take into consideration, even if you're connecting it to the internet with ChatGPT plugins, but like things from link building, competitor analysis, generation, content brief building, you name it. She goes through it in like this collection of all the research she's been doing about using ChatGPT and AI tools for SEO. She even goes into tools that are integrating it like SEO testing and Horseman Crawler. So cool. Definitely worth reviewing that deck that she has. It's accessible. Obviously, it's in the description notes. And then another deck, there are a lot of presentations like SEO on the Beach was last week. So many good insights there. A lot of presentations and conferences coming up. But Gianluca Fiorelli did this whole kind of it was Oh My Mom Strikes Back, a little play on the Empire Strikes Back. Last year, he wrote this great article all around mom and how Google has been evolving the search results specifically for e-commerce and how all these different navigational pills and information send you down through these, connected content based on visuals, based on products and informations. And now he's tying all that information back to SGE, how it's going to show up there, how you can use it. And Gianluca, he's going to write out a more comprehensive post. He promised me he's going to let me know, so I'll let you know when he does. He also happens to be an incredible mid-journey prompter. He's been playing around with AI imagery and generation there. Check out this post. The dude shows you how you can kind of collect the information, the clues, the little nuggets, and build out your schema, structured data, your entities across the board to make sure that you are prepared for the search generative experience for your e-commerce products and everything else. Awesome post. Awesome post. So last week, for the last iPullRank LinkedIn Live for a minute, I had our associate managing editor, Simon Sternklar, on to talk all about audience targeting and why, beyond the table stakes of voice and tone, relevant to what Mike was saying earlier with FridAI. What's really interesting and important about this LinkedIn Live is Simon walks through audience targeting, how to understand and talk to your audience in terms of their interest of experience versus beginners, different types of audiences, how to identify them, and how to use their language in your content to show up for the types of queries that they ultimately make in SEO. It's comprehensive. It's a lot of great examples. Simon does a fantastic job explaining this whole idea of audience targeting beyond like your basic personas, like the research that goes into it. So I highly recommend you watch that replay, check it out. We're going to have like a document that we're working on to get out there too. But in the meantime, pick Simon's brain when it comes to audience research and targeting. AIPRM is adding a couple new cool features. First is a label for the prompt libraries based on the model. So versions, if you want to use a specific prompt template for GPT 3.5 versus 4 for code, et cetera, you can label that when you're creating those prompts and then identify them as such. And also, AIPRM for Edge is coming out. Previously, it's just been for Chrome, but you can use it for Edge as well. And then Charlie Wanier highlighted a really cool set of side hustle tools from Cohen Lehman's. And these were basically built on the Streamlit app. So you can use those for SEO A/B test analyzing, SEO A/B page splitting, people also ask generator, and then SEO article checker. So really cool little tools there. That's it. So much happening in the world of SEO. I tried to keep it like a little faster, a little like pace. Did it work for you? I'd love your feedback. But as always, thank you for checking out this episode. We'll probably take a break next week. We're having Monday and Tuesday off, July 3rd and 4th at iPullRank, and I don't know if Wednesday makes sense, so maybe we'll do the week after as like a double whammy SEO weekly. But as always, thanks for watching. If you're into this, please subscribe to the channel, give us a like, leave us a comment, share on the socials. I genuinely appreciate it. Once again, my name is Garrett Sussman of iPullRank, and I guess I will probably catch you in like 2 weeks. July, summer is here. Go and take a swim if you live in a summer climate. I'll catch you later. Bye.